All is in order, I trust. Though it looks like it didn't go down without a fight, at least. I've been waiting on tenterhooks all day. What is the outcome?
The god is being returned to the glen as we speak.
Which glen?
As far as I'm aware, the spirit glen, just beyond our walls.
So close. Interesting.
Yes, I've had a few runnings there myself. Quite surprised they even allowed me to go anywhere near the goddess.
Well...
But that's for another day, I suppose.
I hear you're headed to medical.
And what of these boons and other things they promised?
Fantastic.
Have we seen any return yet? Has an agreement been made or a pact of any kind?
One of these team meetings going Kingsley is missing out on. Well,
I would talk to the seers.
Why the seers?
They're all kind of having a talk right now. Pardon the intrusion.
And Oriana, the Chosen, they specifically requested her for some reason.
Interesting. Oriana of all of them. How many demands are we expecting these things to give us before we get any sort of return out of it? We've already gone out of a limb. The least they could do is give us some sort of indication of, well, being good for the credit.
Exactly my problem with them. Mordred, can you fill in Nella? I need to heal these two.
What
notes.
on earth have you come dressed as?
What? I was thinking I could, you know, camouflage.
I see. For a moment there, I was very worried you were trying to dress yourself as a fae.
No, I would not dare. I think that would just really damage our relations with them that we everybody already have.
I see. Well, what of Bombadil and the others? Has he been seen at all?
Bombadil, unfortunately, I think has a side effect from that experimental thing we tried out yesterday.
Side effects, oh great. This whole thing could have been for bloody nothing then.
Sir.
Good day. You look well. Good to see you, at least.
Accounted for. Save the seers. Yes, sir, thank you.
Tell me.
The seers are discussing matters with Faye off to the left of the path outside the barrier. I believe Bellicose is with them.
Bellicosa just walked over yonder. Well, I'm sure if it's been left to the fucking seers, we'll see nothing of any of this. What a rancid state of affairs. Well, I do hope that his sensibilities shine through. Troubling news indeed. Given the outburst of students yesterday evening, the complete breakdown in decorum and morale. And now to be empty-handed as a result of it. I don't know why we even tolerate the seers upon the grounds. Absolutely, it's the concerns we have upon the grounds. We cannot be spending our limited resources on flippant fancy, particularly if there's no return involved.
Perhaps that's yet to be decided. Might not be too late.
Well, in that case, it depends on you, Acteris.
I think it'll be best to debrief the professors then.
That would be best, yes. My understanding, I spoke into some of the students in the expedition, they have mentioned they're still speaking with the Fae.
Yes.
It's not necessarily over
And
just yet.
doubtless they are adding an ever-growing list of demands. This is exactly what I feared when we first heard wind of them, that they would start issuing orders, and that as soon as we did anything for them, then they would just never stop coming. I refuse to be held hostage by those rancid forest monstrosities.
Rest assured, Neller, we are in the right here. They don't have
Are you
any
slavering?
reason or...
Did you eat one of them?
No, I did not eat one
There was
of
a
them.
yes there
That
for a
would've been
second.
very
Don't think I
terrible
didn't hear
punishment.
that.
No.
I'm sorry, Professor Mordred ate a fae.
I did not eat a Fae.
What did he now? Did he actually do that? I mean,
I
the
did not eat a
Inquisitor.
Fae. Any?
The Inquisitors would like to know about.
Where is Oriana?
Oriana has been.
I have no idea.
escorted.
You will not see her for a while.
I mean, Bellicosa said they were talking to the seers, so where are the seers?
I believe they're outside the
Yeah,
walls in the middle of a
absolutely.
delicate discussion. One that
Okay.
I dearly hope, for their sake, gets us what we need.
What, boons?
Yeah, I hope so too.
And more besides.
No, maybe less of that. They're unoccupied right now.
Less of what?
All right, Lafron, maybe we should like just back up and wait.
Oh,
You're
whatever.
referring to the
Over here.
island.
I want to get.
That does look worse to me, but it's been getting worse like rapidly. So
The
It
atmosphere
should
has
slowly
changed.
regress.
Oh,
It's not as
she's with the
tense.
professors, do not worry.
well, that's good. Glad to hear that at least.
Oh, it definitely seems like they've done something.
Make
good.
my way to the walls and make
go
sure that this is
grab
all
a
going
coffee then.
suitably. Zuko, I encourage you not to interrupt a delicate negotiation. If you
Yeah,
do
there
wish
was-
to...
yeah,
I'm
we should-
talking
we
about the
should stay
people
back.
over there.
I see. Well, just as long as you are. I'm going to go see if I can get an oversight on this whole operation. Honestly. They come here, ledge their demands. When they don't get their way, they start destroying school property. They put the fear of death into us. They generally believe that there was a rift beneath the school grounds emerging at any time. This is terrorism. Terrorism, plain and simple.
Neller, actually, this is something I was concerned about when we were at that location.
Yes.
There were ruins of maybe a castle, maybe a kingdom.
Oh, the remains of the last people who failed to please them, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm not sure on it
Winds about me.
myself, but I did take notice
we
that none of the foliage or plant life actually started creeping onto the ruins itself.
Oh, really?
So I believe there are either two scenarios to this. Either the building or structure was only recently been destroyed, and the plant life has not been able to climb on top, or there were a civilization before the inhabitants of the Fae, and they started forcibly evacuating whoever remained.
I see. Much the same, no doubt, as they planned to forcibly evacuate us, did we not concede to their demands?
I don't think I saw any remains of any skeletons, so I'm not too sure whether or not they just were better at hiding it.
Yes, either that or they ate the corpses. I'm sure you can relate. Who knows what those disgusting abominations get up to? Wandering round in the forest, claiming to be gods of all things. I've never heard the like of it.
I do find it strange that these Fae did not correct the Linvale, that they're not actually gods and goddesses.
I think there's very little question of that. After all, what good-for-nothing god needs to come to a school such as ours asking for aid? No, mark my words, Mordred, regardless of what Octavian and the others will have you believe, if there are gods out there, they have clearly abandoned us to wreck and ruin. We placed our faith in them,
What about the Celestials?
and they are gone. Yes, quite so. So the faith of this world would to believe
Really?
that they are the people who instated the natural order of things. I don't know if you've noticed, but the natural order of things is somewhat breaking down. Clearly, whoever currently finds themselves in the leadership position is set to be removed, one way or another.
What, Jordan? What? What,
You
the
don't
two
know that name at all. Don't use that name.
Ah.
Yes, that's a big one you can't say.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Yes, no worries. Moving on.
I don't think you were going to. I'm hoping you're not going to say anything about Octavian Celestials, how they're not bringing order to everything.
I don't know if you noticed, but
I think.
don't you think it's rather strange that a Inquisitor, a member of the Order with an extreme amount of funding and wealth behind him, is taken to this project in the first instance? Where are his armies? Where are the guards? I have no doubt that Octavian and his fellows were more than happy to rain terror on the organization as it was before, his Inquisition, as it were, hunting down any man of science who dares cross his way. But now I think that their beliefs can solidly and wholly be dismissed. It is quite clear that if their god does exist, it is most displeased with him. Else he wouldn't have that rotting decay written all over his face.
If this is happening on our island,
Yes.
is there a possibility that other like Fey Domain areas are also could be affected like this?
Yes, I'm glad you put that together. There is absolutely the case that now we know that there are entities out there in the world capable of causing things like a rift. If there were gods and celestials, and we were to say that perhaps they were displeased with us and our current inhabitants, perhaps we could draw something of a correlation, my dear fellow.
Huh.
Many people flock to faith in times of conflict. I'd sooner abandon it. Clearly, if the old order is unfit, then something must be put in its place. But where on earth is this rancid would-be goddess, then? Or whatever the bloody hell they call themselves.
Probably what, at the Glen?
Where is this glen?
I think been changed a little bit, but I was there once. Should be. Was it?
You were
around
there,
that
within
time?
the home of an alleged goddess, and you can't remember it.
Oh. Okay, it was one time, and everyone started forbidding anyone from approaching. And my
What a ridiculous
my mind.
hesitation. Oh, look, and here come the
Right.
seers. And no Ecterus to follow. Where?
Do you see Oriana at all?
Where? No, I do not. You there! What of Ecterus?
We can't hear you. You need to shout.
Ah, he's just over yonder. And that would appear to be young Oriana. Curious. I wonder what new demands they've made on the girl. Are they also to be...
But yes, I think
Yes, what is it?
I think they did come out of that direction.
Interesting.
Please do not tell me you're going to
Going to
approach
what?
and introduce yourself.
No, I'm not going to approach it and introduce myself in the slightest. Rather, I'd prefer to... No, do you know what? Perhaps a matter of discussion for another time. I need to speak to Val. I must speak with the professor.
No, I didn't say who it
Like
was.
things started attacking us on the way there.
Just guessing.
They're rather small.
Yeah, you're just guessing. The person who definitely wasn't Val talking about that. So,
Ah,
yeah.
Val. I don't suppose you've seen him anywhere.
Let's see.
I actually
in the
haven't.
medical
A moment
ward.
ago.
Medical mode. I shall hasten there forthwith. Thank you.
Yes.
Who we're talking about?
Val, he's in medical.
Come now, fella. I have at least a little bit of faith in Actaris. Where is he? Taking his time, I'm sure.
Ollie? What?
Would it be too much trouble if I asked like hey,
I wonder what sort of contraptions will come up with it. The foray beneath the school goes well. We should have an ample supply of aetherite. And I dare say that should be more than enough to rig the place to blow the next time this false deity decides to hold us hostage. Nip it in the bud, I say.
The other seers,
Yes.
due to the situation that happened yesterday evening, that they might. Well, he could explain it, I'm sure, as well.
I'm told that Val is somewhere about. Is that correct?
He was here, sir. I don't know.
He's not anymore.
I see. Ulysses, I don't suppose I could borrow you
Yes.
for a little moment.
Sure, Professor.
Thank you.
Have anything to do?
I was hoping I could talk to yourself and Val on a rather sensitive topic. Thank you. Well, he seems determined to ignore her. I understand many have taken the same policy.
A little bit. She's quite the handful.
So I understand.
She's making an attempt. At least she's starting to make an attempt, which is good.
Interesting. Ah, I am most pleased to see your safe return. I trust that you are all patched up and not too ill for it.
Of course. Still recovering from the impromptu surgery I gave myself.
Yes, I was going to say your commitment is extraordinary. Though... Well, I wish to talk on happier things.
Here I am.
Let us head to the waterfall.
Leave a letter.
It might do well to drown out our voices. Gentlemen, you are both men of science, would you agree?
Of course.
Yes.
The work that you have done upon yourself and your desire to improve and study is notable, both. You understand that science takes a level mind. It takes someone who's willing to account for any number of variables in order to ensure they get the results they want. I understand that this goddess is to be taking residence nearby. Can either of you confirm? I have just been made aware of a spirit glen of sorts, so it was referred to me.
I've heard about as such.
Excellent.
Sears moved to the left. In this case, right from the gate.
Then, in strictest confidence, allow me to put to you a hypothetical. The Fae have been judging us, considering our worthiness this entire time. They came in and made demands, expressed how much more wonderful they were, more worthy of life forms than ourselves. And not only this, but we know they have reason to hate humanity and the civil races for tricking them, so they would say. I do not know if I believe about all of this forest god nonsense. But I do know something very severe has just presented itself. The possibility that there are indeed beings in this world of such power that they are able to create circumstances rather similar to that of a rift. Most curious, wouldn't you say?
And thus leaves the option to create aetherite.
Indeed. An etheric forge is something that I wish to work in meaningful time. But in the meantime, we have shown weakness. We have run around in fear, spreading about, making preparations, at the extent of this goddess's power. What is to say that we will not be preyed upon with such requests again? They already have their thralls within our midst, these seers. Not yesterday I saw Kingsley and Anura of your team standing up to all 6 captains, myself, Miss Bellicosa, and indeed the Chancellor. So rigid they were in their commitment to this entity. I will not allow us to be the fools, pawns for this thing, whatever it is. Therefore, following the successful mission down into the undergrounds to secure a source of aetherite, I believe we should start working on countermeasures in that little glen of theirs, don't you? Just to be on the safe side.
Possibly, yes. In the world of today, we can't take risks.
Certainly not.
But at least we should try to take the least amount of them.
And we cannot allow... Go ahead.
Better prepare ourselves. It is, of course, the right action to take.
I will not see us all being made thrall to a false deity. It is imperative that control of this project remains with the administration and those who would use it for the benefit of the world, and not for simply themselves. It would be most sensible to gain initiative in these future discussions, where they may arise. I will be leaving plans for a device within my desk. If you go to it this evening in my office, you will find it unlocked. Make yourselves familiar with them and keep it secret. We don't know how many thralls this creature has under its grasp.
Understood.
Understood, Professor.
Very good. Then can I trust on your confidence in this delicate matter?
Of course.
Yes.
Very good then. It is always so charming to see such spirited and talented minds amongst our youth, able to focus on moving forwards in the more important pictures. But I shall not keep you from things overlong. Val, you must be in need of further medical attention and probably some painkillers to boot. I would not keep you from your team.
Already received such.
I'm very glad to hear it. In that case, rest at least is probably foremost on your mind. We have much work to do. And yourself as well. You are a control variable, seeing as you did not go on this mission. If you would be most kind as to see if you can see any altered patterns of behavior given this encounter, I would be most interested in your observations. But that will be all. You are dismissed. Thank you for your time.
I would like to add one thing, sir.
Oh, yes.
During the mission, multiple students showed signs of possible mental attacks.
Indeed.
Imagining things such as eyes on themselves. To keep our project in a safe area, I would advise letting Luca know he showed such signs.
You would advise letting Luca know that he may be under thrall. Is that what you're suggesting?
That, and the possibility that if he's already enthralled, we should not invite him to such a project.
Yes. I trust you implicitly, Val. Such dedication will not easily be swayed. As a fellow Palvindorian, you're one of the few people whose resolves I can trust. It is a product of our superior upbringing. As for yourself, despite your misgivings, your dedication to research and technology is admirable. I shall be glad to see what manner of man you are, Ulysses. But Luca, I think for now, we shall watch and observe. That and the rest of the individuals who came upon this party. They are creatures of emotion and spirit, and therefore bleeding hearts, so to speak, are likely keenly affected above others. Troubling times indeed. But yet we have a plan of action. Let us be about it then.
Yes, Professor.
So the plan is to give Nella a bit of a model overhaul at some stage. The fixing the fingers will hopefully be amongst those. One of them does enjoy sort of flipping people off habitually. It's just super sensitive for whatever reason. Something to do with the rotation of the finger.
Right that way. And Val is also over there.
Oriana, I understand our good friend the goddess took particular interest in you, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Any idea why?
I guess I have no really idea whatsoever. I just helped incapacitate the little ones, protecting them, making sure they didn't get harmed.
And yet you were singled out.
And she thanked me for it.
Did you feel any different? Did she give you anything?
She said that she would want to talk to me again. Once I'm healed. Fully.
Interesting.
Whoa, you get to talk to the goddess twice. That's really cool.
Yes.
I wanted to say hello to her.
I'll
find time, I'm sure.
I'm not sure that I would celebrate so eagerly, but do look after each other. Let me know if you start feeling strange at all. Very good then.
Kind of a little bit scary being singled out by a goddess.
Yes, I dare say it
Oriana,
is.
I'm going to go get cleaned up.
Alright, actually, we can, we have a plan with Team Umbra. Where'd they go? Did they already head there?
Halt on that.
Halt on it?
They say that the water is possibly unclean and unfiltered and probably sitting
you should
for a
tell
few days. So.
Morgan then, because they jumped in the lake to clean up.
Can I not get clean then?
I mean,
I'm sure we can find a water barrel.
Yeah, let's get the Madari.
I am sure if this goddess is now pleased with our service to her, that she will no longer be poisoning our water supply. Until she needs something else, that is.
It was her?
Interesting.
So you're
Very
saying
interesting
it's safe?
affairs. I'm saying it would be an interesting experiment. By all means.
Okay.
So, Professor Acteris,
Plan's back on. LeFron, let's go find Umbra.
how do things lie in the end?
Yeah, Oriana,
I
let's
guess
go find
we're
Umbra.
going bathing.
That will depend on how Division team.
Gotta
The
get cleaned
Division.
up together.
I'll
as
have
a
words
team.
in a moment.
I see.
That'll depend on how the Diplomatic Division can play off this little bit. However, for saving her, Kier has offered exactly the thing that we need.
Indeed.
The essence. And periodic supplies, if necessary.
Did they take an interest as to why we needed this?
No. They said that it could be used to help things grow, and grow far better than they currently are.
So they know of its effects.
It's up to us. Possibly. However, where the diplomacy division comes in is... It's not exactly the job of the one rescued to pay for the one who made the promise. If we play our cards right, we should have this thanks from Kier, and the boons offered as payment from Kerno.
Interesting. I'm filled with mixed excitement and doubt. We have learned many terrible things of recent from this goddess, so to speak. Much to think upon.
One little bit of troubling news.
Indeed.
Kier has taken a personal interest in Oriana.
Yes. Tell me.
Well, Koza.
Was it as you said? Did you find Did you find suggestions of something controlling these creatures?
I couldn't look too far into it. However, Blacosa herself was able to free some from essentially a spell.
That could be very useful information in days to come.
And once Kier was released, all of them seemed to change and return to their normal states.
No.
Interesting. And any news of this man who abound this alleged god?
Not that I'm personally aware of.
The ones who I managed to bring back from...
Maybe I'm getting headaches.
Yes, the ones I managed to bring back from the runic possession told me that the runes upon the buildings and stuff were the runes of a traitor, or the traitor.
So it is correct then.
I don't know what that means.
This Fey entity has much reason to despise our kind.
Yes.
Interesting. I don't trust this at all.
Malik is going to be... Malik will be ringing a captain's alarm for all of us to be debriefing in.
I see.
Once he's done with medical.
Well, I'm afraid I don't think I will be around for long. There are much studies I must get on with for the night. There is much work I must do. I shall see you around. I'm glad to see you have all returned safely.
I'm sure. The traitor. Don't put the runes away there.
Right.
Careful, Zuko.
I keep forgetting. For the next 2 days, how would you feel about doing some training?
I didn't get too into
That would be, great.
It seems being small has its advantages as being looked over.
Wonderful. Well then, I'll see you
Professor?
at the bath then. Just a second, I have to go make sure Oriana's fine.
Press another.
Good day.
Nella!
Ah, Avi.
I
I'm
wanted to
glad
ask
to
you if you
see that
wanted,
you've
if you
safely
wanted to,
returned.
I wanted to ask you if you wanted to join us for a nightfall celebration after a mission success. I got a big keg of beer. You're welcome to join. Nightfall though, when it's nightfall.
Hold on one moment.
Okay.
I dare say that I may be able to wait around a little while. I take it it's being held at Terra Dorms.
Oh no, it's in a campfire. I just wanted someplace that everyone can kind of be in, you know?
Very thoughtful indeed. In that case, I shall make my way there. How are you feeling following this trying engagement? It must have been very difficult.
Yeah, but we got through it.
I see. I'm told that this creature had all sorts of magical effects. Runes on the ground, strange creatures being controlled one way or another, even various students feeling peculiar sensations. Did you experience any of that yourself?
Yep. Other than the air being weird at some point, but that's when we got close to, it's still weird to say, the goddess that we saved.
Yes, it is weird to say it, isn't it? And what do you make of her? What did you make of this encounter? With a goddess.
What time? It's mind-reeling, really. This is honestly a story to tell, you know? Again, I can't, we can't just put into words. Saving a goddess and their presence and everything.
Harvey, do you mind walking with me for one moment?
Sure, but didn't the bell go off?
It did.
Oh. Okay.
This is quite a remarkable discovery that we've made. Not only the existence of a goddess, but also, well, that such an individual was capable of creating the effects of something which looks an awful lot like a rift, doesn't it? Nothing in the water. Occultic energy, abyssal in nature, making its way through the grounds. Why, it's quite remarkable. A goddess wielding such incredible powers of the occult.
You think she's causing all this?
Well, certainly. Kerno did. Did you find any evil sorcerer, any strange creature or powerful magician controlling her at all?
No, I don't think we found anything like that.
Well, I doubt that the
Fae.
evil sorcerer wanted to alert us to the fact there was a problem. That'd be very foolish indeed. And a sorcerer with the power to affect the grounds far and wide around the location. Well, that doesn't sound like the sort of thing a man can do. I'd say that rather sounds like the work of a goddess or god, wouldn't you?
I mean, I guess so, but she was locked up in that place. I don't think she could have done anything.
Well, she was locked up in that place. And yet, not only was she able to call to help, she was able to doing it using her incredible powers of the occult all over the neighboring landside. That is a very troubling discovery. Do you think there might be a possibility that it's gods, after all, that are the cause of all of our problems?
Huh.
They're the protectors of the natural order, are they not, the Fae? And it rather seems now like the natural order rather wants us off the face of the planet. I dare say that's a terrifying thing to think about. Don't you?
I mean, but that's why they came to us for help. They needed the land to restore it back, right?
They certainly needed something. That's for sure. Though what remains to be seen. I don't necessarily believe that, given my understanding, that a goddess could be captured. Certainly not by a man. And yet, her power is undeniable. Her mastery of the occult has blighted the ground, even within her seeming captivity, for miles in every direction. Truly impressive.
Do you really think she did something like this? Or maybe Carno?
I think we have to rethink a lot of things. People have been asking why the rifts have been overwhelming us for many, many years. People have theorized, of course, that it is due to the displeasure of the gods, that we are unworthy, that we are being wiped from this world, given our failures and lack of faith. And here we are, going, helping, aiding this deity, making ourselves useful to them. And just like that, I can already see the green returning to the branches. Isn't that a remarkable thing?
Yeah. I would like that to return, otherwise we'd have to leave.
Do you think a god has any right to say whether you live or die?
To be fair, I honestly thought they long abandoned us.
Well, it just so seems that if you make them happy, dance for their enjoyment, and play with their little tricksy fey facades, everything goes along right as rain. What a curious state of affairs.
So, should we be doing that? I mean, it makes things turn back normal.
Do you think any sane or reasonable person, anyone worthy of being a god, would wipe out entire civilizations just for displeasing them? That sounds rather terrible indeed. I dare say that something, if they were able to, somebody ought to do something about it. Though certainly such powers lie outside of my grasp. What an awful world we find ourselves in. That we must do as we're told, or be removed from it.
I mean, even if we, someone were to do something about that, I don't think any of us could challenge a little god. So,
well, it's a good thing that we're not just raising anyone here, isn't it? Perhaps we've had the source of this problem wrong all of this time. And instead of fighting the rift beasts, we should be looking for those who are bringing them into being. Awful, really.
But we saved her, and that was the point of the mission.
Yes. I dare say you've saved us all. Until the next time she wants something. For whatever reason that may be. You did well. I understand she's to take up residence nearby, and we are to forever be at their beck and call. Indeed, Acteris even seemed to indicate that this spirit essence was something that she was aware of, their rejuvenative properties, and I believe them. Look, the work of the occult being undone before your eyes. Something many people thought to be impossible. What a terrible thing to fall upon us. I am glad that we have stalwart individuals like you, with forward-thinking minds, ready to take the steps they need to keep everybody safe. I asked all of the teams very early on what sort of people they were, what sort of world they'd like to see when all this is said and done. And wouldn't you agree that it would be good to live in one outside of tyrants and psychopathic gods?
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Well, I do hope your studies are going well. Either way, I shall see if I can attend this campfire of yours. However, I have no need for heat or beer, but it may be good to see how people are feeling the dawn of such a victory. Though I dare say, in the light of such discoveries, there is much work and much thinking that I must do. I hope to see you there. Congratulations again, and thank you for your help in saving us from this awful tyrant. For a time.
Of course.